Canadian politics is boring.
Welcome to Canadian Politics is Boring. My name is Reese, and with me is Jesse, who has his own intro. How was your week, Jesse? Small talk. Small talk. Small talk. But not too much. Just enough.
My week's not bad. I'm getting more back into exercise. I've got an Oculus Quest 2. Which I love. It's a virtual reality helmet that is standalone, no wires to any supercomputers in the middle of the room, no light sensors in the corners of my spaces. It's all encompassed into one helmet. It's quite amazing, even though it's a technological marvel. Anyway, I work out in my virtual reality helmet because I don't go to the gyms because of COVID, and I look ridiculous, but I'm home. Nobody sees me, so I don't care.
Do you just wearing the headset and nothing else?
Yep.
Nice.
That's I'm glad that's where your brain went right away.
That's how I would do it.
You probably think that's how you have to do it.
Yeah, that's just the
Hand
rule.
me the helmet. I've almost got my clothes off. That's
Exactly. That sounds for you. It's probably a really amazing, immersive experience.
it's wonderful.
To an observer, a man is sweating and breathing heavily, with some kind of weird technology helmet.
Only you would take it sexually.
No, I didn't mean that.
Right
I didn't mean
away.
it was sexually. I mean, it was just...
Yeah, sure.
It was just...
I know how your mind works. Pervert.
So do you just run on the spot?
No, they've got it's like...
Have you got like a treadmill that you run on?
No, like you do a lot of lunges and you're swinging your arms and you're batting off these huge balls that are coming at your face. Okay, the funny thing is I'm not lying.
You must be exhausted after batting away all those balls.
There's music playing and there's just trainers telling you how to swat the balls away.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's...
Stage 2, balls.
Computer,
increase ball size by 30% and ball speed by 20%. I'm ready for a good workout. So is that just like a brief snapshot of your exercise?
That's it. You hit it right on the head.
I've been going to the gym, like an actual physical gym.
You've been going to
I'm
the
a
gym?
risk taker, so I wear a
Reese.
mask and I go to the... I've been trying to
That's not
do
okay.
it. But, and... Well, it is okay. It's all perfectly legal where I am. I'm not going to an illegal far-right gym, which denies the existence of COVID. I'm going to a major chain that is using precautions.
This is good life.
It might be good life.
There's really not a lot of chains in this province.
It is good life. And
I've looked through the windows of Good Life and I've seen people not wearing masks.
I just run. No, you take your mask off. You take your mask off when you get on the treadmill.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to wipe it down and everything. But I just run on a treadmill until I pass out.
Until you pass out.
Probably about 3 minutes after I start.
Okay.
And I wake up on the street outside, fully dressed, and then go home. So, anyway, enough small talk.
I think batting balls away from my face is much more fun than your adventure, but who am I to say? Reese, what do you got for me this week?
Anyway, this episode is
Yes.
called "The Canadian Military Wants to Be an Influencer."
Oh God, this should be good.
So this is a news story. This is a headline that was reported by the Ottawa Citizen, which is a newspaper we've quoted before. The Canadian military wants to establish...
Excuse me.
Did you catch COVID off some balls?
They're virtual balls, Reese.
Okay, sorry. They could be placebo balls. So... The Canadian military wants to establish a new organisation to use propaganda and other techniques to influence Canadians. That's the headline.
Say that again.
Canadian
Slower and with
Canadian military wants to establish new organisation to use propaganda and other techniques to influence Canadians.
Are they saying propaganda? Is that what their mandate is? We want to use propaganda?
Well, they're trying to establish a new organisation that will influence the attitudes, beliefs, and behaviours of Canadians, according to some documents that were obtained by the newspaper. So the Canadian forces had spent $1 million to train public affairs officers on skills such as behaviour modification techniques, in the same sort used by the parent firm. By the firm Cambridge Analytica, which is obviously caught up in. Have you heard of Cambridge Analytica?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
They were involved in online manipulation and public opinion, and some controversial.
They were involved in online manipulation?
So, like posts and, like targeting certain people with certain posts.
Okay.
They played a big role in Brexit.
I'm just aware very suddenly of how incredibly caffeinated I've become. I feel a lot of caffeine surging through my brain right now.
Good. Congratulations on the caffeine surge.
Thank you. It's late at night, and I fear I will be up playing Xbox until 7 in the morning.
Cool.
Please continue. Oh, Jesus. Wow. Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm drinking sparkling water.
So the government wants. Okay.
The government,
not the government, the military.
The military wants to.
I feel my brain is feeling like mush right now.
That would probably be the Canadian military forces influencing your brain. So they want, what they're trying to do is find ways of influencing Canadians in a new kind of
join the military.
No, just to nudge public opinion in certain directions.
Like what?
Well, I think the end goal is to learn how to use it against enemies, but they're practicing on Canada.
Please tell me you have some examples.
Okay, I've got a brilliant example for you.
Okay.
From October last year, which is barely 4 months ago. Barely 4 months ago.
Barely.
So they had a crazy operation they ran in Nova Scotia in the Annapolis Valley, which is barely an hour away. Barely 4 months ago, barely an hour away.
Barely a place.
I like the Annapolis Valley. I do too. If you like Canadian wine, you'll love the Annapolis Valley.
You're really good at these commercials.
This message is brought to you by the Canadian Board of Wine Growers Makers. The wine brewers?
The Canadian Board of Wine Growers Makers Brewers. Question mark?
So what happened was the Canadian military forged letters from the Nova Scotian government to warn people in the Annapolis Valley that wolves were wandering into the province.
Okay.
And the letter told residents to be wary of wolves that had been reintroduced into the area by the provincial and federal governments, and warned that the animals were now roaming the Annapolis Valley.
You're kidding.
The training also involved a loudspeaker to generate wolf sounds.
What the fuck?
And
are you
all of this was made up. There's no wolves in the Annapolis Valley.
Okay.
They were just seeing, wonder if we can make people think there are wolves.
This is amazing. This happened? This fucking happened.
The fake letter was part of new skills being tested by the military as it hones its expertise for launching propaganda missions at home and abroad.
So hold on a second. You're telling me the Canadian military wanted to see if the technique of A, telling people that there are wolves, and B, making wolf sounds will make people believe there are wolves. I'm betting the answer was yes. Well, sounds like this isn't fucking rocket science. Okay.
Do you know what I would do? I would just release some wolves. You'd have to worry about the letters. You'd have to worry about the loudspeaker.
Do we have got like some military officials wearing tiny wolf feet, right? Making prints in the snow away from 7-Elevens and stuff like this in schools.
It's just like...
That's the noise that they're making while they're making the wolf prints.
It's kind of like Wile E. Coyote kind of stuff.
So how did they report back? Like, so when you told people there were wolves and then made wolf noises, what was the result? Well, they believe there were wolves. Fucking fascinating. Write that down. Really? This is where our military's at these days?
Do you know what I think they were doing, though? I think they were probably watching social media to see if people were going, holy shit, the wolves are outside my house. I would
do the same fucking... Are you kidding me? I want to do this now. No, Can you and I go to the Annapolis Valley and just drop off a bunch of flyers, saying, I don't know, pick an animal.
Beavers.
Pick a dangerous animal.
A giraffe.
A giraffe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the noise a giraffe makes. Okay. So let's go to the Annapolis Valley. We'll print off flyers that say Government of Canada at the top of it, just in big bold
Canadian
letters.
Association for Giraffes.
Right. And we'll drop it off in people's mailboxes saying, beware, giraffes are on the loose.
Or CAG.
And we'll stage, we'll put some giant, like a pickup truck with huge speakers in the back, and we'll drive into the woods.
I'll just do it. I'll just stand in the bed going, wah!
Right, into a microphone so that it's echoes throughout the entire valley. Can you do it again? What's the sound? You've clearly visited.
I got to be careful
many
because
giraffes.
we'll have some rutting giraffes outside otherwise. But the thing is that
if someone here is a mixer of music, can they please take Reese's various giraffe noises and mix it into a nice rap or a techno? Can you give us another giraffe?
So
it really sounds like a giraffe exploding.
The reason they make that noise is because their necks are so long. It takes so long for the air to come out. It comes out like a gargle.
Okay, so I don't know. I have a hard time. This is clearly wrong of the military to lie.
Well, they forged the wildlife division of Nova Scotia's Department of Lands and Forestry.
This is an amazing fucking story. This is amazing.
But at the same time,
how do you find this shit? And how does nobody know about this except for you? What the?
I'm sure there are other people who know. You just don't know.
My friends have never heard of this. I haven't heard of it on TV, the news, nothing.
It was just safe for me to assume that you don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you're just dodging balls naked in your house with some VR headsets on. So, meanwhile, I'm reading the news. And going, that'll make a good episode. I wonder what Jesse's doing right now. Sorry, I've got a headache because I got hit in the face by 5 balls. But you know what? If I was driving around, if I lived in the Annapolis Valley actually, and I heard that noise.
Which one?
The wolves driving around. I don't know if you ever heard a loudspeaker, but generally speaking, large audio address systems sound shit. It'd be like, this is a wolf. So if you heard an owl, if you heard a wolf, it'd be like, and the posts online would be like, some dickheads playing wolf noises on a loudspeaker. I called the police. So anyway, Alexa, play wolf noises. Quick, plug it in.
Sorry for the interruption, but we've got a quick special announcement for you. We'll be back right after this, I promise.
So Emma.
Oh God, I hope that we're being played in someone's living room next to an Alexa. I don't even know what the fuck they're called, an Amazon Echo, and that you just saying what he just said resulted in some wolf noise.
Exactly. So Emma Bryant, a professor at Bard College in the US who specializes in research in military propaganda, said what the Canadian forces did.
Hold on, he what?
She.
Sorry,
women can be professors too, Jesse. No, come on. It's the 90s. Hello.
This isn't the 90s.
I wish it was.
Right? Yeah. Good times.
Remember the 90s?
Seinfeld, Friends,
Bill Clinton.
Various ice cream flavors.
The Simpsons was still new and punky.
Computers.
Windows 95. Windows 98.
I was there for the birth of the internet. The World Wide Web. Not the internet, but the World Wide Web. I was there. It was great. Good times.
Let's stop remembering the 90s.
Okay.
And let's talk about this weird story that happened literally barely 4 months ago. Barely an hour away. I'm
still blown away by this.
So Professor Bryant said that
Professor Bryant, who was, again, what's
specializes in research and propaganda. She's at Bard College in the US. She said, this is way over the top. It's a very dangerous path when you start targeting your own public with false information and trying to manipulate them. The quote ends there, but I wish it said, and trying to manipulate them into believing they're wolves.
Well, what was the result, though? Do we know the results?
I guess it's classified. I guess to be honest, I think the result would have been them all just laughing, going, I bet they think there's wolves. Let's go home. Let's go home now.
Or A bunch of residents of the Annapolis Valley heard the wolf sounds, went into the woods to try to find them, came across some expensive stereo equipment, and took it home.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I'd like to think it happened. Yeah.
This
is remarkable.
Back when I was in the UK, they were filming the Force Awakens in a place called Puzzlewood, which is a forest about an hour away from where I lived.
No one can get out of.
Puzzlewood. No, it's just like knobbly trees. You know the bit where
novelty trees?
Knobbly trees.
Oh.
And you know where they go and there's like space lasers and stuff in the woods. And I can't describe that scene very well. But anyway,
what?
They were filming. Lucasfilm were filming in Puzzlewood, and they left a shit ton of equipment. And some people were like, "Hey, anybody want any?"
That's very
expensive
lights
of them and cables. I guess they were in a rush. It's Star Wars, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
So what happened then was and this is like one of a few examples of stuff they've been doing. This is my favorite one though.
There's more.
I want to call that Fakewolfgate. Maybe the title of this should be Fakewolfgate.
Can you do it in deep echoes when you do it?
Fakewolfgate.
Jesus. All right.
Was that good?
Yeah,
I channeled
did
Satan.
not expect that to come out of your noise hole.
Fakewolfgate.
Fuck me. That's made me poop a little bit. Fuck. Just don't. Okay.
I want your soul, Jesse.
Jesus. Okay. That's fun.
I could also do like a creepy child's voice.
No. Okay, that's just creepy as fuck.
I know. Those are my two voices.
If you go back and edit this, can you take the voice of you saying those two in Satan and Child and overlap them for our podcast when you edit this?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try my throat hurts now.
Yeah, that's what you
Have
get.
some sparkling water. Shit is empty.
Oh, wow.
I need that. I wish that was glass. It would have been more
That's
dramatic.
what Reese does every time he comes across an empty vessel of any sort.
So anyway,
Throws it across the room.
The new Defense Strategic Communication Group will, and this is what this new organization is called, I guess, the Defense Strategic Communication Group, or DSC Group.
That's too disturbing, man. It's really good.
DSC Group will advance national interests by using defense activities to influence the attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors of audiences
into believing they're wolves.
So this document said, the Chief of Defense Staff, General John Vance, is calling it the weaponization of the military's public affairs branch, and that they've been testing these techniques on the public. And the Defense Minister, Harjit Sajjan, has said Sunday that the plan, at least for now, is not authorized to proceed, and he's raised some concerns about activities related to such influence and propaganda operations, and said no such plan has been approved, nor will it be. So there's a bit of they're testing her out. They're trying to get approval, and they're basically trying to say that strategic communication is essential to warfare. Trying to manipulate online people and everything is just part of what they do. And they're trying to propose the creation of a new research capability established to analyze and collect information from the social media accounts of Canadians. So like I described last episode, or a few episodes ago, of our Instagram feed, the hole I dug to try to access my own septic tank. The military might take that information, go, Reese has a septic tank. It's 2 foot underground in front of his house. And every 3 years, he has to dig it up so they can pump the shit out of it. The military wants that kind of information.
Okay.
So they basically want the social media accounts of Canadians, non-government organizations, industry, and the news media will all be collected, and a team assigned to a Canadian military intelligence unit monitored and collected information from people's social media accounts in Ontario, claiming such data mining was needed to help troops who were working in the long-term care homes during the coronavirus pandemic. So they did like a test run.
With what?
With all people, they were just monitoring people's social media accounts to see what people were talking about in relation to the coronavirus and care homes in Ontario. And it was aimed at people's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts, and involved collecting comments made by the public about the provincial government's failure to take care of the elderly. The data was then turned over to the Ontario government with a warning from the team that it represented a negative reaction from the public.
Which is weird because
But I know you don't need the military to go, it's shit talking you online.
but like, it's not really, I mean, like the government's really behind, man. It always has been behind. Like for one thing, do they not realize that social media is public? Like you or I could go and do this right now. We could go and just collect what people are saying on Twitter.
They go, imagine all these people are sharing photos, information. Imagine if we read it. Imagine that. And apparently there's a thing called Reddit now too.
It's for people who've already done it, yeah.
Exactly. And then I imagine them like investing all this money on like Facebook and then realizing that it's just old people on there.
It is too.
Yeah, exactly. Shit. And then I'd love to see the Canadian military on TikTok.
That'd be great. My God, that'd be amazing.
So the military officers were saying, they said there's no such thing as a collection because this is all public domain on social media accounts. And,
true.
And they noted the plan that it will consult the Federal Privacy Commissioner before it launches its collection of Canadians' online information. And the Public Affairs Enhancement Plan reflects the military leadership's new view that they can shape and direct the attitude of Canadians if the right techniques are applied.
Like telling people there are wolves and then making wolf noises.
Oh, so they've even shortened the name from the what did I say it was called? From the
Wolfgate,
the Defense Strategic Communication Group, or DSC. They now call it the Defense Stratcom. It hurts my throat.
That's why you have to stop doing it.
The Defense Stratcom will focus on effects and outcomes among key audiences and will provide clear direction on aligning actions, efforts, and resources in pursuit of strategic objectives. So
this is gobbledygook.
It's just that means nothing.
It means nothing. No,
so what they're basically doing is they're trying to say, hey, we should probably be online. We should probably have a Twitter account. But it just seems either they're following some high level strategy related, and the wolves is like a thing that we're not privy to and we don't understand, or it's just crazy, and they just try and shit out. Someone's given them $1 million, and they're like, "How are you going to influence the public?" I know. Let's make the people of the Annapolis Valley believe in wolves.
Who came up with this idea, and who's like, okay, so can you imagine the roundtable discussion that had to take place for this to kind of manifest?
But also, at what point in, like, what military scenario can you imagine will it help to make people think that, bearing in mind, there are wolves in Canada. There are wolves not far away from the Annapolis Valley. You're only going to drive a few hours to go somewhere where there are wolves. What possible benefit is there to make people believe that there are wolves somewhere where quite possibly there could be wolves? There are coyotes and bears.
Right.
But then surely, like,
sounds like fun, honestly.
The CIA, there's this horrible sound you can find online. So the CIA used to play the voices of ghosts and like blast it into the jungle in the Vietnam War.
Jesus.
To make people who were religious believe that the forests were haunted by the dead and everything. It was like psychological warfare. And you go, that was like based on cultural, I don't know whether it worked or not, but it was based on them understanding the culture of their opponent and then trying to craft some kind of psychological warfare to unnerve people who were superstitious or religious.
You see, that actually kind of, like, if you're in the middle of war, that's kind of smart to use their beliefs against them in that regards. Like, that's kind of clever. But like to tell people that there are wolves nearby when there very well could fucking well be wolves nearby.
I don't know what the fuck is.
And then just to cement it, like, we better make some noises just in case. Oh, they believed it. Of course they fucking believed it.
But also, like, the Annapolis Valley is a rural area. You guarantee that before they went and played the loudspeaker, they went for a drive-through at the Tim Hortons.
Of course.
And then word would have got out, oh, the military have got like a giant speaker on the back of a pickup truck. That's
a really good point.
They just ordered 6 double-doubles and a box of 50 Timbits to eat and drink while they play them. And then that would have just got out, just word spreads in rural areas.
man, that's probably exactly what happened. Is everyone just knew what they were doing but didn't know why they were doing it? The military were playing wolf noises in the woods. Did you hear that?
They probably
I heard that. It was right by my house. It's weird. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they're doing it all night.
I just imagine them sat on the pickup truck and like just people are so polite to you, they went along with it just because they didn't want them to feel bad. They made so much effort. So someone like walked up to them while they were on the loudspeaker going, "Can you hear those wolves? Did you hear about those wolves? Good job the army's here in case there are wolves."
We sent Sandy the Screamer by just to make them feel like they scared someone away. Yeah,
exactly.
It was good.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Sandy the Screamer. That's her nickname.
I personally am not worried that the Canadian military are informing my opinions and view of the world. And I still don't believe wolves exist, so it's fine.
Yeah, okay, neither do I. Thank God. We're both on the same page.
Well,
Giraffes, though, on the other hand.
See, but that would have been amazing. Imagine if they got the Annapolis Valley to believe that there was almost like a mysterious beast like Bigfoot. They would call it the giraffe of the Annapolis Valley, and people would be like, "I saw the giraffe. I was walking home drunk one night. I fell over. I looked up, and there was a giraffe, and it looked me in the eyes and went." That would be amazing.
I could hear you make that noise all night long.
But that would be amazing, and you would go, "Jesus Christ! These psyops kind of soldiers can make people believe there's a giraffe in the Annapolis Valley in winter."
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that would be no. Honest to God, I think to kind of bring us back to reality for a second, I think you hit the nail on the head, Reese. If the government wants to see if they can influence people's behavior and beliefs, then try changing their beliefs from something they already fucking believe. Okay. Exactly. If they could make the Annapolis Valley believe that there were giraffes in the middle of winter, if they could make them believe that, now you've got power. If you are making the Annapolis Valley believe that wolves are there when there are wolves nearby anyway, you're not really doing shit but pulling a prank.
No, you're just reinforcing the idea that wolves exist.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man.
I was 100% sure that wolves existed. Now I'm 110% that wolves existed.
Yeah.
And I'm also 100% sure that loudspeakers are of poor quality.
This is the shittiest experiment and hilarious. It's so funny, man. It's so funny.
Could you hear something outside? The audio quality is terrible. Let's try it again. Alexa, play giraffe noises. If you're at home listening and Alexa is now playing giraffe noises, please send us an email.
Thank you so much for. Is that the end of the episode? I was just about to thank everyone.
I think I've run out of everything.
Okay, that was great. That was really fun. Thank you for listening and sticking us in your ear holes, nice and snug and deep. Listen, if you go to our Instagram account, you will see a post of Reese making that face he makes. I wish you could have seen it every time he makes the giraffe noise.
It's all in the face. That's what they say
all
about
in the face.
That's what if you speak to the best giraffe impersonators in the business, they'll say it's all in the face.
Send us photos of your face when you make the giraffe noise, and we'll post it on our Instagram as well.
And as the founding member of the Canadian Association of Giraffe Impersonators, or CAGI, I'd consider membership. If you find you've got a natural talent for it, join.
$750 a year.
$750 a year.
It's a steal.
You get a membership card that I've hand drawn. And also
crayons and laminated.
A quarterly magazine that is not a good read. The journalism is very soft, and a lot of it is mainly stock images. But I tried my best. So
no, we didn't.
Yeah. So join CAGI now, the Canadian Association of Giraffe Impersonators.com.
Yep.
If that is your website, I'm sorry.
We better check.
Yeah, you better check. Anyway, you have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week for another exciting.
Stop flipping the bottle lid.
I can't help it. It's fun. It's fun.
Just like if you did hear that much of the way through, it's because Jesse's fiddling.
Oh, here, listen. That's what I've been doing. That drives him crazy. Because I like to fiddle. End the episode with a draft noise.